YouTube, it's Michelle Nicole. I'm back again. I wanted to share with you all, and I'm sorry if I'm looking the wrong place. I am recording on my phone. Cheap people problems. But I wanted to come back and share with you all my stillbirth story. Y'all, I've been through a lot in my life. I'm not even gonna just try and make it seem like everything is great. We all go through things in life, and it's really about how you handle it and how you come out on the other side, and how strong you are from it, how much stronger you become from it. So my hope is that, again, and I think I said this in the last video, but my hope is that all of the bad stuff that's happened to me in my life, that I'm able to at least give someone else hope that might be going through something, that if I can get through it, you definitely can. I am no stronger than you, so you can get through it just as I have, and people, I'm sure millions of other people have gone through the same. So I just want to preface this story with that. So back in 2016, I became pregnant. Prior to that, in 2013, I had a miscarriage. So when I found out that me and my now husband, we weren't married at the time, were pregnant, I was very nervous, very nervous. Having had a miscarriage in the past, I just was really concerned about everything. I mean, everything. To the point where I obsessed a lot about the pregnancy, and worried a lot, and focused a lot on the negative, or the possibility of negative, more than just kind of enjoying the process. So what I do want to say is, if you've gone through a stillbirth, please, 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 please don't beat yourself up. 9 times out of 10, it is nothing that you did, nothing that you could have done differently. A lot of times it is some sort of genetic abnormality that kind of comes up, or some sort of developmental thing that just does not happen in the womb. It's nothing that you did wrong, okay? Nothing you did wrong, nothing that your partner did wrong, nothing you did wrong, nothing, a lot of times nothing your doctor did wrong. I don't want to say all the time, but nothing that your doctor did wrong, okay? But back to my situation. So got pregnant 2016. Was really, nervous and apprehensive, both about my relationship, but definitely about the pregnancy. And fast forward to August. So I got pregnant in February because I was due in November. So fast forward, we had a couple, little scares and things like that. At 16 weeks, we found out we were having a little boy. So once I made it into the second trimester, because my miscarriage was at 5 weeks, once we made it into the second trimester, me and my now husband both were really excited, and started, a registry, planned a baby shower, picked a beautiful venue for a baby shower, picked out a name. His name is Mason. And we just were really planning for, to bring this blessing into the world, right? So we went, at 16 weeks, like I said, found out we were pregnant. At 26 weeks, we went in for our visit, our scan, to make sure everything was okay. And my now husband and I were there. They put the jelly on my belly, and she was doing the scan, and she was very quiet. And I made the comment to her. I said, "Oh, he's really low today, and not moving that much. That's strange." And she didn't say anything. She just kept scanning and looking at a couple different things. And she scanned and scanned and scanned and scanned for a while. I would say about 5 minutes, which is the longest 5 minutes of my life. And she turned the image off and she looked at me and him and she said, I'm sorry, your baby has passed away. I don't see a heartbeat. And I could hear from my now husband, his breathing. He was like panicked in his breathing. And I looked over at him and I'm like, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay. And she was like, I'm going to have the doctor come in and just double check. So the doctor comes in, she looks at everything, and she says the same thing. I'm sorry, there is no heartbeat. And y'all, I don't know if I heard much more after that, to be honest with you. I didn't have any feeling at all. I was completely numb. I didn't have any questions. I didn't have anything. I had nothing, no words, no nothing. I was completely void of emotion. And they had me, they let me sit there for a minute, and then they moved me into another room to speak with my doctor. Because at that practice, you rotated through different physicians, and then once you got to a certain point, you could pick who you wanted to be, your doctor for delivery. So at that point, I had already picked who I wanted to be my doctor for delivery, and it just so happened for that particular appointment, she was there, and she was my OBGYN that, or gynecologist, the OBGYN that I was going to see that day. So she called me in, and my husband and I sat there, and she told me the next steps, that I could go home and take as long as I wanted to kind of process everything, or I could go right over to labor and delivery because I was going to have to deliver Mason. And I couldn't make a decision. I wanted to get out of there. I just wanted to get out of there and step out of myself. Just step away from the situation for a minute. Try to process everything and get some clarity, on what I had just been told, what was happening, what was going on in my body, what was happening to my child. All of that I needed to process. So I said that I would come back in a couple days, and we would do the procedure, and I would deliver him. So get out of there. My husband and I had drove separately because I was coming from work. He was coming from work. So I had to ride home in my car by myself. I called my boss because I was not going back to work until I don't know when. And I told her what happened. And, I'm so thankful for my job because they are very, very understanding, and she just let me take the time that I needed to process everything. I called my parents. I called my mom, and I told her what had happened, and she didn't believe me. She did not believe me. She thought the doctor was wrong. She thought I was wrong. She just didn't believe me, and she was like, well, how am I going to tell your dad? So I told her, I will call him, and I'll tell him. And when I got home, my husband and we called his family, called his friends, because the worst part, or one bad part about it, was the baby shower was that weekend. It was like a Monday, and the baby shower was that Saturday coming up. So we had to call everyone. We had to we really had to like verbalize the reality of it very fast, because we felt like we owed it to people to let them know what was going on, and that there would not be a baby shower, but B, that we were experiencing something, and so you would not be hearing from us for a while. And I called my dad, and yeah, it broke my heart because he broke down crying. And my dad is not the type of person that, like most dads, he's not the type of person that cries often. But to hear the hurt in his heart, for me and what I was going through, that kind of snapped me back into reality, and realizing exactly how serious what I was going through was. Because sometimes when you go through things, at least for me, I can deduce it in my mind to not that big of a deal, just so that I can like get through it and process it. And then it takes a while, or it takes something or someone to trigger me back into the moment to realize how serious it is. And clearly that's a coping mechanism for me, and I don't know if that's healthy or not, but it's something I do. And so it was a Monday. My parents came, and I think they were there on Tuesday. And on Tuesday, I called and told my doctor that I wanted to go ahead and be induced so that I could deliver. And I believe it was a Wednesday or Thursday, I went into the hospital. And no, I went in Tuesday night. And by midnight on Wednesday, I had delivered our son, and he was stillborn. I refused to visit with him. I did not spend any time with him. My now husband did spend some time with our son. I just couldn't process it. I wasn't able to, I didn't feel like emotionally I could handle that. I didn't feel like I could handle seeing him and having to say goodbye to him. And it is a regret that I have. And so, if you're going through this, and first of all, if you're going through this, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. If nobody tells you they're sorry and they understand what you are going through, I do. And I would not wish this on my worst enemy. So for it to happen to you, Mom, I'm sorry, because you are a mom. And I hope that you are stronger than I am, and you do take the time to spend time with your son or daughter, because I think that is healthy. I think it's healthy. It's hard, but you'll regret it if you don't, because that is a regret that I have, that I did not, I wasn't strong enough at the time to do that, to spend time with him and to tell him goodbye and tell him I love him. I will never have that opportunity again, because we chose not to cremate. We chose not to do a burial or anything like that. We did decide to do an autopsy just to find out what the cause of the stillbirth was. It came back inconclusive, so that definitely didn't help with the healing process. So I hope that you are strong enough to say your goodbyes, and I truly believe that would have helped me in my healing process if I would have done that. I say all this and I share this now, and I can share this now 3 years later, because I now have a beautiful little boy. Even though I've had a stillbirth 6 years ago, a miscarriage 6 years ago, a stillbirth 3 years ago, today I have a happy, healthy, strong, active, alive, and thriving he'll be 6 months next week. So it was a 6-month-old. And so there's still hope. You may not be ready to even think about that. And some women are ready, like, right away to try again. Take your time, heal, grieve, process what happened to you. But don't give up hope on having a son or a daughter and having a family of your own. When the time is right, it will happen for you. And again, you didn't do anything wrong. It's nothing that you could have done differently. It happens in the right time for every one of us. If you talk to several women, 9 times out of 10, at least 1 out of 3 women have gone through some sort of fertility issue or pregnancy loss or something. So you're not alone. And I just hope that you keep that in your mind and stay focused. I will say this. When I got pregnant with my son, that will be 6 months next week, I did take some different steps. I found a OBGYN that specializes in high-risk pregnancies. I had a panel of tests run before I even was ready to get pregnant. I had him review the autopsy and the pathology from the autopsy. I had several different meetings with the OBGYN just to talk about different processes, different options. I spent a lot of time researching and making sure that I was fully aware of all of the prior to getting pregnant again, because I am a fact person. I'm a research person. If I can get one person that I feel is qualified to tell me that yes, it's still a viable chance that you can do X, Y, and Z, then I am internally more confident that it can happen for me. So my recommendation to you, in addition to the other 2 things that I said, would be to find someone that specializes in high-risk pregnancies, or find someone that you feel comfortable with before you get pregnant. My doctor was phenomenal. He was with me the entire process. I saw him every time I turned around, and it got to the point where he would just be like, I thought I just saw you yesterday. He is a close friend now. I mean, exchange Christmas gifts and everything. He's the man. So find someone like that you can have that sort of relationship with. I mean, hey, you're paying this person to help you in this area. You're paying this person to help you in this area of your life. So keep that in mind and find someone that supports your desires and your wants and your needs in your family. So that's a recommendation for me. And when you do get pregnant again, because I believe that you will, enjoy it. Enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. I elected to not have a baby shower this last pregnancy. And not that I really regret it, because I already had a lot of stuff just from planning to have a little boy before and then ending up with a little boy this time. I didn't need a bunch of stuff. I had a bunch of clothes. I had a bunch of, I had this crib, and all that stuff was already set up. The nursery was pretty much set up. So we were able to keep a lot of things the same. But I wish I would have celebrated my son more. But I was just afraid, very afraid to do so. So celebrate it, enjoy every moment of being pregnant, and don't let any negative thoughts, find something that you can do while you're pregnant to eliminate those negative thoughts. For me, I did prenatal yoga. I, hung out with people that made me happy and didn't speak negative things, that didn't bring up things that I didn't necessarily want to deal with. Even my husband was great about just remaining positive and not bringing up things that would stress me out during pregnancy. So just make sure that you focus your energy on positive things. Focus your energy on your baby, focus your energy on you, because those are the two most important things during that time of your life. And those will all, once you're a mom, those will definitely be the two most important things in your life, because your baby needs you and you need your baby. So thank y'all for watching this long video. And again, I hope that my story can inspire someone, uplift someone, encourage someone. Comment down below if you have any questions about the test that I had run, or the autopsy, or how I got through the grieving process. Maybe I'll do a video on that. I don't know. To be real with y'all, you never really finish grieving. So I don't know that I could actually do a video about how I got over it, because you don't get over the loss of a child. So it would be a very short video. But if I think of more to say about that, then I'll try to do so. But love y'all. Stay positive. Stay focused. Bye.